Good morning, and thank you for tuning in. My name is Carissa DeShays, and this is my weekly podcast, Faith Over Fear. I'm so honored and so grateful to have Madison Palisi here with me. Madison Palisi is the owner of Madison Palisi Esthetics in Bedford, New Hampshire. Thank you so much for being here with me.
Of course.
Is this your first podcast?
Yes.
Okay.
So if I look awkward,
No,
that's
you're
why.
doing great. You're doing great. You're doing great.
Get that.
No, and like I said to you, we touched base. We have a mutual friend. Shout out to Sam. She did my eyebrows, which thank God.
She did mine too.
Yeah, she brought them back to life because I was a 90s baby
Oh.
and used to
Yeah.
like overpluck
Yeah.
because I thought it was in. And then
It was. That's the thing. It wasn't you. It was in.
Right. But then they stopped growing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It does happen.
Shout out to Sam. And if anybody ever needs any like eyebrows, Samantha Paulino is amazing.
If you need them tattooed, yes.
She's the girl.
Yeah.
So Madison works at the same studio as Sam. What are your hours? Is like frustrating, and then when you have like outside things going on, you probably like had moments where you're like, oh my gosh, is this,
It's funny too because a lot of people don't know this. I went into business right out of school.
Okay, like right out of high school?
Right out of aesthetic school.
Oh, no way.
Yeah, so I did the college thing and it was cool, but I always wanted to be in like the beauty industry.
Like since you were younger, it's like a dream that you always had.
Yeah, I always wanted to be in some way, shape, or form. But I think there was a stigma that like in the beauty industry, you don't make money or like you don't have a stable job or this, that, and the other.
Do you feel like that was coming from outside people like around you? That
it was mostly, and like I love my parents, but it was well for my parents. My parents are both, my dad's a mathematician. He's a business owner now. And my mom she went to med school. Like my mom, they're very by the book. They're incredible. And they just want to make sure that I had the best opportunities possible.
Of course.
Because maybe they didn't have that, or they just want to make sure that like everything they did was not worth it, but paid off for myself. You know what I mean?
Right.
So I did the college thing, and then I was in the fitness industry for almost 10 years.
Oh, wow.
From like 18 to, or about 9 years, 18 to 27.
And how was that process for you?
I worked for Title Boxing Club, actually right down the street. And I
Is that
ran
your
the
Market
one
Basket?
Yep.
Yeah, okay.
It was a great experience. Honestly, it was a great experience. I love the people I worked with. I think what was really cool is they gave me an opportunity. I'm a plus size girl to be a plus size trainer. So I grew up as an athlete my entire life. And unfortunately, I tore my rotator cuff at a young age. So playing ball in college wasn't an opportunity.
Did you still play basketball?
I played softball.
Oh, that's awesome.
I was a pitcher.
Good for you.
Yeah. And so I didn't really know what to do once sports have been my whole life, and I worked.
So you felt like a part of you was lost, basically.
Yeah. And my family owns a sporting goods business, or did while I was growing up, and we're still in the business now. And I worked at the store for a while, and shout out to Capital Sporting Goods in Concord, and then my dad at Brine. But we worked there. It's like a police rite of passage. There's a bunch of cousins. We all have to work there by like when we're little. If you can count, you can still skate.
Right. So you're born into the family.
Yeah. You're behind the register.
They're like, you're hired.
Yeah, I still technically work for them, I think, to this day. There's no like formal like exit. Like you get called.
Right.
And somebody was like, hey, like you want to come work sales? Like my dad has this joke. He's like, you could sell anyone anything. Like that's just love. I will talk to someone. I will talk to everyone. I will talk to a wall and they will answer me. Like the wall will answer me.
I love that, period.
And so
you're like, yes, I'm painting you pink.
Yeah, literally.
Yeah, right.
Like it.
Yeah.
And so I got into the fitness industry. She was like, you want to come work sales? And I did. And I loved it. I love the atmosphere of the fitness industry. I love the fact that I got to be around athletics. In a different way. I got to be around empowering people.
I was going to say it like is such a positive thing for your mindset too, to be
around. It was a wicked positive, environment until I got into a point for myself where I kind of was so focused on everybody else's journey. I didn't focus on mine anymore. And
did you start like coming to that realization for yourself?
Probably like 4 years ago. I was like, what, like something's missing. I love what I'm doing. I love my clients. I love that I was the only plus size trainer in in this area, but let alone in the business, like within the company I was working for.
And I love that for you. And
I thought it was really cool. And I loved that I had the opportunity. They never looked at me as being plus size. They just looked at me as someone who knew their shit. And I love that, and I had a really empowering boss. Her name is Jillian Gravel. and she's was really a big reason why I was like, "Okay, I want to follow my dreams," which was to be in the beauty industry. I remember I told her, I was like, "So I'm gonna go to school." And I was like I was scared shitless, like, to be like, "I'm gonna go to school and I won't be here that often or, like, at all." Because, like, I
Well, you
built
were
a
finally
friendship.
choosing yourself too, which was
Right.
probably scary.
Yeah, and I built a friendship with her that, like, I'm so grateful that I've had that with a boss. I mean, I'm going to her wedding in a month. Like, I'm so
Oh, I
excited.
love
Or
that
at the end of this month. And so I'm really lucky that I had that support to go into what I wanted to do.
for sure.
And I'm really lucky a lot of the clients followed me into the business I am in now. But yeah, I went straight from school to being an esthetician fully on my own. I'm really lucky though. I have really great mentors. I mean, I can ask Sam for any business advice possible. Even though I grew up in a family of entrepreneurs, it's still different. It's still different the day to day. You know what I mean? Whereas like it's 20 years from before, like 20 years ago, it's so different business owning than it is now. Like they
Right,
didn't have the social media that,
right.
like to this day, I asked him like, Dad, like you guys should start making TikToks. And he's like looking at me like I have 10
Yeah, because it
heads.
was, like, just a different way of life back
Yeah,
then, and
like
nowadays, like, 90% of your marketing is just on social
correct.
media.
Yeah, and so, like, I can ask them for anything. My teacher from school at AAHB, Miss Barbara, I still text her to this day,
That's
and I've
awesome.
only been in business for it'll be a year in November.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
That's huge. So how is your soul wholeness now that you are on this different path for yourself with owning your own business in aesthetics?
I finally feel like what was missing feels fulfilled, and I love being in a service industry, like, position, like, in a job, like, obviously, as a trainer, I was doing that similarly, you know what I mean? But I feel like I get to do what I love. I love the beauty industry. I love the fact that I get to be a part of something that makes somebody feel great. Whether, if it's this is the only hour they get to come in for a facial because they got a million bajillion kids at home and like, their home is crazy right now because
Right.
they got sports and they got this and they got this and this and
And they're
this.
just, like, burnt out, but they come in to
Yeah.
get rejuvenated.
Yeah. Or I
Yeah.
have, a struggling teen coming in who's been dealing with hormonal acne because they're at their pubescent age and they don't know what to do. And I get to educate them on skincare or like just like proper ways to maybe, prevent a worse breakout or whatever it is.
Right, right.
And for me, like helping people is like what I love to do. I think that for me is like what I was put on this earth to do is to just kind of like be helpful to others,
Mhm.
especially when they might be at their lowest. I just truly feel like that's when I feel most fulfilled.
It's really great too that you like, when I'm listening to you, it just sounds to me that you finally are standing in your truth.
Yeah,
And not what everybody else is suggesting that you should
yeah,
do or, like, all these
yeah,
opinions because especially with the training, which I know you said you loved it,
yeah,
but that's all type of environment that you're having to hold space for people and with what you're doing
right,
now. So if you are happy with what you're doing, not only is, like, Madison's spirit and soul gonna be happier, but
yeah,
you're gonna be able to show up for your clients in such a
yeah.
different way.
Yeah, and like you said, I loved what I was doing at Title.
Right.
I truly believe we do things for a season, a reason, and a lifetime. Same reason
100%.
why people in our lives, they're in our life for a season, a reason, and a lifetime.
I love that.
And I think Title was what gave me the confidence to do things on my own, to feel independent, to I put a microphone on my head and I felt like Beyonce. Like I was like, I'm a whole different human. Like I don't have to deal with the stuff that's outside these doors or
Right,
things
right,
that are going on. Like it was just my time, right?
right.
And I got to be a part of people's favorite hour of their day. And I still get to do that. And now I'm doing it in a way that like I feel even more connected to. And it's a fact that God's given me the opportunity to have two careers that I've been able to feel that way. I feel like I'm the most blessed person on this planet because some people don't get that in a lifetime. And I've had it
Right,
twice and I'm 28.
right,
You know what I mean?
right.
So I feel like I'm finally feeling fulfilled in every aspect, whether it's emotional, spiritual, physically. I get that from my job. I get it from my faith. I get it from my love of at the gym. I get it from my friends, my family. Like things really do finally feel like I'm moving for myself and not surrounding everything that's surrounding me. And I think when you move in a way that's beneficial for yourself, but also for others, how can you not feel blessed? You know what I mean?
How were you setting those boundaries with people? Like, because I identify with what you're going through with
Yeah.
in a way of choosing yourself. And
Yeah.
I used to be an oversharer. and allow everybody to know all my personal
Yeah, I don't
business.
shut up.
Now
You
I'm
can't.
very, it's the gift to gab. My mom says the
It's
market basket, the last one on Carissa.
I love that.
She said me and my
Same.
uncle from Florida, because he talks more than I do. She's like, someone would buy a house from you guys just to get you to shut up, you
That's what
know?
I'm saying. They're like, "I'd pay you. I'll
I was
literally
like,
pay
Mom, I
you."
don't know whether to smile or be insulted, but I'm just
Yeah,
gonna smile. But
yeah,
so, with setting boundaries, what I mean by that is more or less like, how did you continue, and now that you're on the self-love journey,
yeah,
continue to choose yourself and kind of just say, like, hey, listen, I love you, but like, this is what I'm doing for me.
yeah.
Like, how was that transformation
To be
process for
honest with
you?
you, about a year ago, I went to the doctors because I had a pretty bad injury and I was dealing with things with the state when it came to my exams, this, that, and the other. I couldn't do something for a while because of this injury. And I went to the doctor and she took my A1C and she looks at me, she's like, "You're a diabetic." I was like, "What?"
And you didn't know that before?
No clue.
And there was no symptoms or
I had
anything?
nothing. I
That's so
still have nothing.
crazy.
But
Wow.
I was like, "What do you mean?" I'd always had pre-diabetes my whole life. It's just been like chilling. But I neglected myself for so long. I didn't go to a doctor. I didn't work out. I didn't this, that, and the other because I chose everyone else around me. And she's like, "So you got a couple options, Madison." And I'm like, "Okay." Like, what are my options? She's like, "You go on a GLP-1, you get your A1C down, you change your entire lifestyle, or you die. Like, which one do you want?"
You must have just been like, I would have,
And I was like,
that's so
well,
scary.
I was like, one sounds like, I guess, better. Like,
Right.
and obviously she didn't, I have a really good relationship with my doctor. I'm very
Amazing.
lucky to have the relationship I do. She didn't necessarily say it that bluntly, but she said it in a way that like I was going to receive it. You
Mm.
know what I mean? And I kind of got to a point, I was like, okay, like, I guess, yeah, I'll do it. And I think for a long time being in the fitness industry, I had a stigma towards a GLP-1. And you shouldn't, but I did. I'm like, I do everything. I work out, I eat clean, I this, I that. I've been an athlete my whole life. Why can't I lose weight? I've always been a thick girl. There's no way. I ain't never gonna be 120 pounds.
Right, right.
I'm gonna look icky.
Yeah. No, I was gonna say, girl, thick is better
Yeah,
anyway.
100%.
Yeah, yeah, for
But
sure.
like that being said, I'm like, Madison, I started to think to myself, I'm like, Madison, like, you haven't lived like the last like few years. And you can ask my best friend, Sam, she'll tell you, like, I was so sheltered for someone who loves to be around others and do things and this and that. I didn't do anything. I wouldn't go out to dinner because I was scared I wouldn't fit in a booth. I don't think I've ever admitted that before, but it's true. I wouldn't go to the mall because my hip would kill so bad I couldn't walk it. I wouldn't, airplanes. Man, I ain't never want to sit next to anybody. I don't want
Wow.
to sit next to them anyway.
Right.
But like then I'm like, oh my God, I gotta sit like this. What are you gonna do?
And those are things that like build up in your subconscious that
Right,
you don't even realize until
right.
you're like somewhere down the line in your
Girl,
healing
I
journey.
shouldn't admit this, but I'm going to. I stole a seatbelt extender from JetBlue
Yeah.
just so that I didn't have to keep asking for legal purposes. That didn't happen.
It was a dream.
Yeah. Yep.
Yep.
Yeah. I don't
Right,
know which
right.
one.
Yeah.
I realized when she said that, I was like, wow, I do need to make a change. Like, holy shit. Then I started like seeing pictures of myself and I was like, because like when you take your pictures, you know how to pose, you
Yeah,
know
for
what you
sure.
like in yours, you know what you like to look like. But when others take your photos, and I still struggle with this to this day, you're like, get this angle, get this angle. And then they still try to do it. And it's still not something, but that's still what you look like.
I think it's really hard too with like societal standards of like a
Wicked.
woman should look and all these
Wicked.
things. And we live in like now we have, and I've used it too, like the Halloween
Yeah.
AI, but like now AI is a thing. And then
Right.
filters and just so all these things are put into play. And then, you see
Yeah.
Kim K and you're like, okay, well,
I'm like, I want to be her.
right.
But like, do I really? Yeah, I would love to be her business wise. But
Right. But it's hard when you're feeling
yeah.
uncomfortable in your own skin.
Right. And I feel like I finally got to a point where I was like, Madison, you're not living.
Mm.
So then I started losing some weight. And then I made a 360 my lifestyle. So like I said, I had that stigma of that GLP-1. Now I'm like the first person to say something about it because I
Mm.
think people still have it. I think people still have this idea that like people just use it just to lose a quick 20 pounds.
Mhm.
It's
Well,
changed my life.
it's like the Ozempic, like, like they say like, oh, like the
Oh, she's
Ozempic.
on the skinny shot.
Right, right, right. But I think what people fail to consider, and this is the first time I've ever come out about it as well, but my weight loss is also due to a
That's
GLP-1
amazing.
medication.
Yeah.
So I honor your vulnerability, and I
Thank
feel
you.
like part of
I honor
my
yours. It's
journey
not
and
easy.
faith over fear is to be honest. And obviously when I post and I'm like, it's a healthy, I've changed my diet completely. That is
Yeah.
100% true.
It's a tool.
It is a tool. but I was at the point, like you said, like I was pre-diabetic.
Yeah.
I had high cortisol. My family, it runs insulin resistance. I
Yeah.
started having the
I'm
same
insulin resistant.
issue. I was walking. I couldn't even like stand up for a long period, do laundry with my kids because my lower back, my inflammation in
You
my
were so
hips would
in
hurt.
pain.
I would see myself in pictures. I would be out with Taylor, I don't and I
I'm
would
sure I've met
yeah,
her.
you probably met her, or like just people in general, and
Yeah.
they would take a picture, and I would look at myself and I would just be mortified, or I'd feel like I have to edit it to make myself look smaller, and I put on such a great amount of weight in so long. So I had the opportunity. I'm down 45 pounds. You said you were down how
Congratulations.
much?
I fluctuate between 95 and 92.
That's huge.
Yeah.
So I love that you brought that up because I have people in my family that think it's actually basically gonna kill me. I have people that have said like I've been very private about this
Yeah.
because I feel like it's something that is a personal decision I made, but I also think it's good to bring light to it. So I
Yeah.
love that you brought that up because it
Yeah.
is. And it has a lot of
It does.
benefits for your
I
body.
yeah, and
It
I
does.
understand, and everyone's entitled to having their
Of
opinion
course, we
about
live
it.
in a world that you post something and
Yeah, and, when you put it public, like, you're giving the opportunity for someone to have an opinion.
yeah.
But I think for me personally is because I was
So how has it changed your
struggling in the
life?
industry,
Like, how do you feel, like, on it? Like, what are some things that you noticed within yourself and your
I
body?
feel empowered, to be honest with you. And, to go back to your other question about the boundaries, the whole change of lifestyle has me setting a boundary. And I truly believe that. Including I go to the gym sometimes twice a day. And not because I feel like I have to or this is gonna happen. And I have had those thoughts. Like if I don't do it, I'm gonna gain 100 pounds back. But now I have a team behind me. I have a nutritionist. I have a counselor because I've developed fear of food. And I'm going to be the first one to say that. I have developed some poor habits, but it's not because of the GLP-1. It's because I wasn't educated about it.
Mm.
And even being in the fitness industry, I've told my clients this, that, and the other. But it's like the do as I say and not as I do. We're human. So it has changed my life for the better in so many ways, including it's given me the opportunity to want to do things again. I've gone to Red Sox games. I'm not scared of not fitting into a fucking seat anymore. Excuse my language. I don't know if I can
No,
say
you're
that.
fine, it's
Into
fine.
a fucking
You
seat
can
anymore. I don't worry about going to a restaurant. I go into a concert. Chris Brown was amazing.
oh my gosh, girl, I wanted to go so bad,
It was
and
amazing.
yeah, I
I've
love
already
that
booked
for you.
2 more concerts. I'm
Good.
going to a Brandon Lake concert,
Nice.
and which is total opposite. I'm going to a Cardi B concert. I feel like it's giving me the opportunity to create space for myself, create space for my faith, create space for my health.
Yeah,
And
because your vibration is higher, your whole
yeah,
frequency is
everything is,
higher.
I feel like I'm just in a place where I'm very much, if someone asks me to do something, I'm going to say yes because for so long I had every reason to say no. And that's a gift that I feel like I gave myself, but also got from a GLP-1. But again, it's a tool. It's like any other weight thing, whether it's weight loss surgery.
It's there's a good amount of people that are on it, and it's
Right.
been and everybody's body's different. So like I've heard people that took Ozempic and then they
Yeah.
had a really bad side effect, but then
Yep.
they went on trizepatide and
And
they
it was
felt great.
different.
So your RDNA is so
Different.
intricate and so
Yeah.
different, but yeah, it's an amazing experience, and I think that you are just like walking in, like you're standing in your power,
Finally.
in your authentic self.
Yeah.
And I mean, this is my first time meeting you, which I'm
Yeah.
super honored to meet you.
Oh,
Like you're a beautiful person.
thank you.
And, I've even seen in your, like, before and after pictures,
I
because
look
you
different.
just look different,
Yeah.
and it's your whole energy, like, the eyes are the mirrors to our soul,
Yeah.
and
I
your
love that.
eyes are
I love
just
that.
lit up.
Yeah. I feel like I got to a place where I'm just like, I feel like our world is so negative.
Yeah.
I didn't want to feel negativity from myself anymore. You know what I mean? I really wanted to feel positivity. I wanted to, like you said earlier, I wanted to fill my cup. My cup has been empty for so long. And oh my gosh, it's going to make me emotional. My cup has been so empty for so long. And it's really refreshing to finally feel like, even if it's just half full, that's still more than I've had in a very long time. And it gives me the opportunity to be a better human for my friends, my family, my clients, myself, my God, my faith. I feel like I lost myself for so long, for so long. You asked me what made me happy, and it was, my ex. I did everything I could for him, and I was living for someone else or my family or my friends. And, I was finally like, I sat myself down and I was like, Madison, if you're showing up for everyone else, why can't you show up for yourself? And I feel like in a way, the start of taking that GLP-1 was me starting my journey to show up for myself. And I feel like I've made so many positive changes in the last year. The GLP-1 is just a tool, like I said. I eat super clean. I'm now a type 2 diabetic, and I don't think a lot of people know that. I don't talk about it because my doctor likes to tell me I'm in remission. It's always, it's always going to be there,
Yeah.
but I don't need things. I don't have to check it often. I don't have to be, but it's because I'm controlling it with eating clean, working out, staying active, losing weight. And I will say, like, that has made such an impact on me on a daily, whether it's in my treatment room. I get to be a better version of myself for my clients, my friends, my family, who were all there for me when I wasn't myself. I've had friends say to me, they're like, you can never go back to that girl that you were a year, 2, 3, 4, 5 years ago because she doesn't live. She's not happy. She doesn't seem fulfilled. And it's really refreshing to say I finally feel fulfilled, and it's not because of somebody else. It's not because of, exactly. It's not one thing.
I guarantee you that girl from like 2 years ago was really proud of you.
Thank you. I
And
think my younger self would be
yeah,
flabbergasted at
yeah.
my older self.
And that's like part of your story, but
Yeah.
you have evolved so much from that that
Yeah.
that is no longer your identity.
Right. And I
So
think that's huge. And I think, like, a lot of people have a hard time seeing, quote unquote, a way out. When you're stuck in your own ways, it's really hard to see a light at the end of the tunnel. But sometimes it just takes that one thing. I recently found my way back into the church. I hadn't been to church in years, and I didn't have the best relationship with God.
you think you were like mad at God for a long time?
I had a really bad stigma towards religion, and
Mm-hmm.
I still don't love the word religion
Mm-hmm.
personally.
Yeah, I call it spirituality.
I call it my faith,
I love that. Exactly.
I didn't have I just felt in certain areas there was just so much hate, but it wasn't, and I realized that's not God. That's the vessel that's saying the wrong thing. And meeting, I think it was 8 years, 9 years ago, Samantha, she's very, very open about her faith. And one day she's like, "Can I pray over you?" My mom had just been diagnosed, and I was like, "What?" She's like, I don't want to make you uncomfortable, but do you mind if I pray over you?" And I said, "Okay." Like, I'm always open to something once, if that
Right.
makes sense. I grew up going to church, but again, I didn't have a good relationship. And she did. And I was like, okay, that wasn't bad. Do you know what I mean? Like, it was kind of like that little, like, okay, like, that wasn't weird. And a long time ago, I got into a pretty serious car accident when I was 20, 19 or 20. I never wore a seatbelt, ever wore a seatbelt. Please wear a seatbelt. For some reason, that one night I put it on. I couldn't tell you why. I didn't even know I did it. And a drunk driver ran me off the road, 93 South, and my car was totaled so bad.
Mm-mm.
I walked away with a couple bruised, broken ribs, scratches on my face,
Told
pretty
you
bad
that
concussion.
basically if you wouldn't have had your seatbelt on, like you
I
would
would have
have
been through the
been,
windshield.
yeah.
And the police officer says, "You're lucky you wore your seatbelt." And I go, "What?" He's like, You're lucky you wore a seatbelt." I go, I wasn't wearing a
Right,
seatbelt."
because you were so used to like not wearing your seatbelt that you didn't even realize.
And that day, I'm like, okay, someone was watching me. Like, someone knew this was good. Like, somebody held me back. Someone helped me that day. And I still had that little thing in the back of my head, being like, okay, Madison, like, I always believed in a higher power. Again, I didn't like the word religion.
Fine.
Over the
It's
last
okay.
few years, I started feeling like I felt empty. I felt like something was missing. I felt like I was missing a community. I felt like I was missing something. I didn't know what it was, but I started to grow a stronger relationship with God. But I'd ask Sam questions or other people that I know that are active. And in the last 2 months, I started going to church. I go every Thursday. It is the most, it is the one thing I look 100% forward to every week.
That's awesome.
And I finally feel fulfilled because I feel like I'm part of a community that's positive. I don't feel like I'm part of a religion. I don't feel like I'm part of this. I don't feel like I'm just part of something that is helping me with my journey. I feel like my relationship with God is stronger. I feel like my relationship with myself is stronger. I do believe God has a plan for all of us. And last night I was at church, and um, it our pastor said there's going to be disruptions in our paths. When you follow a path, there comes disruption.
Absolutely.
Disruption, is it?
Disruption, yeah. Yep.
Disruptions. Allow disruptions. Allow it. Welcome it. Don't push it away, because what disturbs us makes us stronger.
For sure. That's powerful.
Very.
Yeah.
And I feel like everything that I've been through over the last few years, last few months, since my childhood, there's been a lot of disruptions, but I would not be where I am today if I didn't have them.
It teaches you parts about yourself. And there was this podcast I was listening to, and this person talked about trials and tribulations they had
Yeah.
gone through, and that when they got to the other side, they went through those trials and tribulations so that they could handle their blessings that was given to them.
Yeah.
Because without that, they wouldn't. It's like without sadness, we wouldn't know joy.
Yeah. I say every day, you can't have a bad day without, you can't have a good day without the bad.
Right.
Then we would have no good days. We wouldn't see the joy in a good day if we
Right.
didn't have something that disrupts
Right.
our other good times.
And life is always going to keep, I call it lifing, like life is gonna keep
Yeah, life's
lifing.
hard sometimes.
So I love
With the
that they
hard.
said that, like, just kind of embrace it, because when you
Yeah.
try to fight it and you keep trying to fit like a puzzle piece that's not going to fit, that's when like itself will run riot. And that's
Yeah.
when you're just going to get completely irritated. Like
Yeah.
your whole day will just spiral, right?
Right. And then we dwell.
And then we
We
dwell.
dwell and we dwell and we dwell. And I feel like what happens is when we start getting into that like mentality, like, oh, this is happening to me. This is, and then we
Yeah, poor
fixate.
me mentality.
Right. And like, don't get me
Victimization.
wrong. I did that for a long time. I'm like, oh, I can't walk. So I'm gaining weight. I can't do this. I'm gaining weight. Or like, oh, I'm still doing this. I can't go to school. You know what I mean? Like, I'm like, why am I not celebrating the things I can do? So I move like that pretty frequently now. Like, celebrate the fact, like this morning, I had the weirdest morning in the entire world. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm going to show up. I hope I'm not in a bad mood. I don't want to be in a bad mood. I had a weird morning. I went to work out this morning and I was like, I want nothing to do with this. I love my cousin, but she's like 6:45 Pilates. I was like, what the
Yeah, you were
and I was
just
like,
feeling it this
I'm so
morning.
tired. And I was like, oh my gosh. And I was like, Madison, you got the opportunity to meet someone who's amazing.
Thank you.
Yourself.
Thank you.
Who wants to spread positivity and awareness and just kind of exuberate what I don't think enough light is put on. Enough spotlights are put on to positivity, people's stories, awareness, things like that. I think people shelter themselves sometimes because awareness can be scary.
Right.
Um,
Well, and a lot of people, I think, like, kind of can look at their stories, and I'm speaking from my
yeah,
experience as like shame and guilt
yeah,
and all these things, but
yeah,
being vulnerable is a strength.
right.
Like that is a
And you
strength.
grow.
Yeah. And when
It
you speak, you heal.
100%. And I couldn't agree more with that. You know, I've been through a lot in my life and there's a lot of things I kind of suppress. I'm very good at just like, I'm good. Smile. I'm like,
Right.
I'm great.
Right.
Especially because I've always had jobs where I have to show up for people.
Right.
Like I can't just like call out and be like, hey, so and so, I can't make it to work. Can you?
Right.
Well, there was a few times, but thank you, Jillian, for always covering. Sometimes, for some reason, on a Tuesday when I had to teach, something always happened.
Yeah. Yeah.
And luckily,
Tuesday
she
was just
always,
not.
yeah, Tuesday was not my day. Whether it was I fell down the stairs one
Oh
time,
man.
my car got out on the highway.
Girl.
Just one thing after the other. But, you know, I can't just call someone and be like, hey, I have a client today. You know, Sam and I talk about this a lot. And Emily, she also rents from the shop that Sam owns. And I'm really lucky I have two amazing mentors at the shop. And sometimes I'm like, do you ever just like, are you tired? You ever just like, you just don't want, like you said, you don't want a life today.
It's hard.
Dude, it's so
It's
hard.
hard because you go to work and then you have to
Yeah.
like have space for you, and then you
Yeah.
have like, I don't know, it could be laundry,
Yeah.
dude. You got to clean your car. You got to do this. You got
Yeah.
to go
Just
home, make
something.
dinner, anything.
Yeah. And I
Being a
don't do
human's a
well when
lot.
there's deadlines.
Me either.
And
Yeah.
but I'm realizing, I'm like, Madison, be grateful. Like, be so blessed that like you have the opportunity to do things you love.
Mhm.
You have clients that are so unbelievably amazing and just so supportive of myself. Be grateful. You're tired. Get
Right.
over it.
I was going to say, and it's okay to recognize that, because like I
Yeah.
also work in recovery. So I work
Yeah.
with women that are just getting off the street, or
Yeah.
and it's a temporary living facility for 6 months, and I am there with them and doing meditations
Yeah.
and basically like a therapist without the pay.
Yeah.
So that takes a really emotional toll on me,
Yeah.
because these people are going through so much and I have
Yeah.
to be there as a light to guide them.
Yeah.
So I want to honor you and say that like it's okay to say like I'm really tired
Yeah.
today, but it's a way of thinking how you can say, but I'm also really grateful.
Yeah. I
Because I'm
get to do
exhausted
this.
from my job. I show
Yeah.
up and I'm just like, I gotta do meditation. Let me
Yeah.
just go to the bathroom and get
Yeah.
coffee, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. And it's like, you know, someone said once, it's not that you have to, it's that you get to.
Yes, it's true.
And I'm like, ooh, that got me.
Yeah.
You know,
'Cause
It's
you
not
get
that I
to do
have to
these
go to the
things
gym, I
today.
get to go
You
to the
get to
gym.
do
I didn't go to the gym before. There was, like, a break between being, going through being in the fitness industry. I was so active, but I was still plus size.
Right,
It's
right,
just who I was.
right.
I took about 2 years. So it's been about I think it's been about a year and a half, 2 years. I gained a lot of weight in that 1 year. My body went from, like, being so active to, like, nothing, and now I'm like, I made the choice not to move. Even though I was in pain, I could have gone to the doctor and been like, "This is what's going on." Other than being told I had a torn labrum, I'm like, I need to be proactive. So now I'm doing anything I can to make sure my health is in check,
That's amazing.
whether it's taking, my GLP-1 or taking an extra 20 minutes to myself if I really need to before I go into work, or taking 20 minutes to myself before I go into the house. Cause when I get home, I'm like, my dog is like, mom, 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 mom. And like, I love him to death, but like, sometimes I'm like, yeah,
Right,
I got a little chihuahua. He's crazy,
it's
right?
like a baby.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he is my child.
yeah, I
I
love that.
birthed him. Is in my head. But
Well,
it's like it's okay to take those couple seconds. I just think that like for me personally, I'm in the best space I've ever been.
that's so good.
Mm.
You deserve it,
Yeah, and
and you've worked hard for it.
thank you. I just feel like I finally am doing what I was meant to do, what I love to do, and I get to further that. You know what I mean? I love what I do for work. I never knew I would love so much about comedones, which is a or a whitehead. Like I didn't think I'd love that stuff. I love it.
I
Or
love
like
that.
skin barriers, like things that people like, or like waxing an underarm. Love it. And it's like it sounds crazy,
No, it
but it's
doesn't.
like it's so I'm like it's so me.
Mhm.
Like I feel like I'm in my element. And that's just something I'm like I don't even know how to describe it.
Well, it's empowering when you finally say yes to yourself.
Yeah.
And when you finally accomplish, when you have all these outside things, whether it's your daily structure or
Yeah.
obviously you talked about your parents, which are wonderful people, but
They're
they
amazing.
grew up a certain type of way
We all
where they
do.
had to work
Yeah.
differently for things. And now we're in a time where creativity and
Yeah.
entrepreneurship is so free.
Yeah.
Even with like you have these like TikTok
Yeah.
superstars.
Yeah.
How are you a TikTok superstar? Some of them are
Right.
doing
They wouldn't no one would have fathomed that
no,
20 years
no, but
ago.
these people are like, millionaires
Yeah.
from being on TikTok. And then you have people that are independent small business entrepreneurs. And you have people that are but it's creativity in such a different
Yeah.
way. Back then it
Yeah.
was like you go to school, you get a job, you work a 9 to 5,
Yeah.
you
You
have your
move out and you
family,
do this. Yeah.
and then you're great. And some people have that, and that's
Amazing.
awesome. But when you have that longing, I was in the restaurant industry 17 years. I just left. It was
Yeah.
very scary because I was making great
Yeah.
money.
It's fast money.
I worked Foundry, I worked Campo, I worked
Yeah.
Firefly, I
Yeah.
worked all these restaurants. It was making great money,
Yeah.
but I was getting really burnt out.
Yeah.
And so I had to make that change for myself of that transitional
Yeah.
period because it was my truth. So this light that you're sitting here and you're
Yeah.
like, you said yes to yourself.
Yeah. I think that's the most empowering and fulfilling feeling you can ever honestly experience.
Yeah. And your soul knows your destiny. Like your soul, like if you
Yeah.
listen to that and with your faith, like your higher power, God,
Yeah.
like that, those two, we're spiritual beings having a human experience.
Yeah.
So that's interconnected. So even like
Wicked.
when you were in that car accident, and you put your seatbelt on, you're like, I didn't even know I put my seatbelt on, dude.
I honestly was like, are you at the right car accident?
Right.
Like,
You're like staring at your car and
it
you're like,
took him
it
a long
wasn't
time to
me.
get there. So like, I really thought maybe he was just like thinking the wrong thing. Like,
Yeah. You've been shocked too, though. That's like so
yeah,
traumatic.
especially it was like 10:30 at night. And like nobody stopped to help me until these two truckers pulled me out of my car, or two tow truckers pulled me out of my car that weren't even a tow truck for me.
That's crazy.
God bless them. And I hope
For
they're doing
sure.
well. I
Yeah,
don't know
for
their names,
sure.
but like, thank God to them.
Yeah.
It's just honestly, I just hope everybody gets the opportunity to finally feel what I feel now. The fact that I feel as at 28 is like crazy. I feel like I've been so scared to get older.
Mm-hmm.
And I say that because I'm like, I'm 28.
No, but I get it.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like, I'm like,
I
oh my gosh.
understand.
Like, when I was little, I was like, I'm going to be married and have kids and by like 26.
Yeah,
And if I don't, that's
we
weird.
have it all planned. We think we do.
Yeah. And I'm like, okay, I don't have that. I'm not that. But I'm like, okay, I do have this. I own a business at 28 and it's doing well. I have a
Yeah, you just
beautiful
got
dog
blessed
at
in
home.
603, girl. Like
Thank
your
you.
first year
Yeah.
open. That's
Yeah.
huge.
Yeah. It's wild.
Yeah,
Um,
that's
I
amazing.
cry about it because to me, it's like, you don't need an award to do well. but it's really nice to feel recognized.
It's
Do you
really
know what I
beautiful to
mean?
feel seen too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, it's huge, and I just feel like there's no place I'd rather
I'm
be.
so happy
Do
for
you know
you.
what I mean? And, like, I'm so grateful to be surrounded by the people that I'm surrounded by, especially in the industry. I keep talking about Sam, Emily. Emily has been amazing. She's such a light, and, my friends that are in the aesthetics industry or just women who own businesses. I was just in an event this past weekend. It was a female, like, business entrepreneur
I love that.
fall soiree thing. I met some of the coolest people, and it's just really fun to be in this industry, being a female business owner.
Say what a and I'm really for that. You were
Me
saying
too.
like girls girl, like
Yeah, I'm a wicked
same,
girl's girl.
same.
Yeah.
And it's a different because I think like again, societal standards
Yeah.
for myself for a long time, I also have been in situations that were really unhealthy for me
Yeah.
because I didn't know who I was and I felt like I needed validation and just wanted to be loved because I
I
had
think we all
abandonment
do. I
wounds
think
and
we all feel
rejection
like
wounds.
that.
Right. So when you're empowered by women, like it's just such a different type of like
Uplifting.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
huge.
I think the thing is growing up and until about the last few years, I've always been in everyone's corner. That's just how I am. That's just how I show up. Something I got you. And I'd say in the last like 5 years, 4 years, I have that. And it is the most amazing feeling ever. I have friends and people in my life who are my support, who are in my corner. I'm not fighting alone. The friend group that I've been introduced to and just the friends that I've made over the years and some that I still have from high school. And I finally feel like I have a corner. You know what I mean? Boxing reference, but a fighter never fights alone. There's
Mm.
always somebody in your
You're a
corner.
village girl. Takes a
Exactly. And I
village.
think, yeah, they say a lot of things, whether it's motherhood or, entrepreneurship, it takes a village. There's people who support you that are there for you. And I have that now.
Mm.
And that is, I think, another reason I'm doing well. I'm able to set boundaries. I'm able to put myself first with certain things that I need to. Last night I went to church and then I went to the gym. And then I woke up this
You
morning at
went to the
6:45 in the
gym.
morning and went to the gym.
Best.
I'm exhausted.
Yeah. And
And
you look good, girl.
thank
You look
you.
so
And
good.
another, like, I could have had someone be like, "Hey, you want to go like out to eat and like do
Right.
this?"
Right.
Obviously, yeah, I do.
Right.
But I made a promise to myself and they're like, "No, I'll go with you." So like my friend went to the gym with me last night.
That's awesome.
And my other friend was like, "Oh my gosh, I'll go next time." It's things like that I'm like, "Oh, wow." It's not just like helping me, but it's infectious and it helps others.
Yeah.
And
Well, you're setting an example
yeah,
and it's people like love that.
yeah,
And so that's what I mean. Like when you walk into your authentic self, your soul tribe and your network is going
yeah,
to naturally be drawn to you because of the life that
yeah,
you're living. It's like even when you're on a low vibrational,
yeah,
like when I was out at the clubs all the time,
yeah,
I really had some friends, but more or less they
yeah.
were drinking, partying buddies,
Right. And like,
you
but the thing
know?
is, it's okay to have those. You know what
Right,
I mean?
right,
And it's, but it's nice to have like friends that you can do that with. You can do whatever you need to do.
right, right.
Like I got my girl. We go have a drink at like the what's it called? I think it's called. We go
The
there all the time.
Spanish place.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
so good. It's great to go there. Do we want to go out there? Maybe. But like also we could go home and like go watch a movie.
I think
Or
everything's
like,
good with balance.
do you know what I mean? Like, and
Yeah.
it's really nice to have that. Another thing too that I think is huge is someone said everybody is contagious. Are you going to spread disease or are you going to spread positivity? And I think and that's really stuck with me.
Yeah, that's huge.
I
I've never
think
heard that before a lot.
I'm pretty sure it was my pastor.
Well,
And
shout out to him.
yeah, well, he's great. But he said that and I'm like, wow, it's real though. Are you going to spread something good or are you going to spread something bad? We all have the ability to be infectious. It's like, oh, I'm going to Hotworks now. I had 10 people decide they wanted to start going. Or like your podcast, you're spreading positivity. People want to be on it. You know what I mean? Like they want to be a part of that movement. Um,
Thank you.
it's true. And like I said, I didn't know what to expect because I'm
Yeah.
like the type of person I'll get
But I
in my
just said
head.
yes to the dress,
Me too.
to be honest.
Monty would be so proud. Great show.
Yeah.
But it's like you choose what you put into this world. You know what I mean? What you spread. Are you gonna? We're all contagious. Are you gonna spread positivity or negativity? And it's like,
And you can change your thinking. So
yeah,
identifying with you. I
yeah,
had a rough morning too.
cool.
My
I'm glad we're on the
kids,
same
my
boat.
kids were crazy. I was like nonstop. I drove all the way here,
Yeah.
left my laptop and microphone at home. Now it's 9:40. You're gonna be here in 20
Oh
minutes.
my
So I truly went back to my house in the car. I'm driving and I'm like, today accept peace and love into my
Yeah, everything's
day.
good.
I was like, Carissa, like you have such an amazing opportunity to meet with somebody who you can network with, who
Yeah,
can, you know, who's an amazing person. Like
yeah,
you have this opportunity. And so
yeah,
I just deep breath, but I understand because it was the same for me this morning. But I
yeah,
love that thinking because that's how you change it. So you can start your day over at any moment.
literally, and I
Mm-hmm.
think that's, like, such a positive and empowering feeling. You know, you can have the worst morning in the entire world, literally,
Yep.
but around real fast.
Right.
There's so many things to be grateful for, so many things to feel blessed and that you are blessed with, and I think what's hard is, we get fixated on a lot of stuff. I mean, for me, I was fixated on I'm like, "I look great." This was back when I was 100 pounds heavier. Now I wore my weight what I like to call what people are say socially acceptable. I had big hips, I have a smaller waist, I had a big butt, I'm like, I would always say, I'm like, "I'm a big girl, but I'm not ugly." But or like face card never declined.
Right.
But deep down, I'm like, I felt bad. Like deep down, I felt so insecure at certain things and I felt so not myself. And it's like that little me trying to be like, oh no, I'm confident. Like I'm very confident was me trying to flip the mindset. But the thing is like you can flip the mindset, but like until you truly believe it, it means nothing. And I feel like the fact that today, like when you said that you truly believed, you know what? No, like we can make this a good day. Things are better. You
That's
know
where
what
the
I
growth
mean?
happens. It's like
Yeah.
when you acknowledge it,
And you accept
you
it.
accept it, and then you do what you need to do, whether it's
Right.
sit in your car for 20 minutes,
Yeah.
deep breath, go get yourself coffee, talk to your higher power, and then
Whatever
you
it
move
looks like.
forward.
Right.
What the tragedy starts is like the old me would
Right.
have been like, I had a really fucked up day, and then it would have spiraled into my job, it would have spiraled into my home life, and
Mhm.
then before
And
you
that's
know it,
infectious.
right, oh, it's been so stressful. Well, now I'm gonna go out and do something destructive. I was very self-destructive for a long time.
I self-sabotage like it's my freaking day
Right?
job.
So, but that's how it happens. It's like
Yeah.
that one thought in that moment. So now what the healing
Yeah.
is recognizing it, accepting it, and then moving forward
Yeah,
with
and
it
just trying to
and
find the
acknowledging it's a
light at the end of the
moment the entire day.
Yeah, and I think it's huge. We have to give ourselves grace.
For
I
sure.
think that's like the biggest thing that I've learned over my healing journey. Or it was finding my way back, accepting God into my heart or finding myself and allowing myself to feel like I live again. You have to give yourself grace. Now, I started developing some certain habits where like I was like scared of food. But, I'm like, Madison, this is what happens when you do something without getting proper training or proper education. Or like it's like you're like, I just need to get it done. And I now have a team. I have a counselor who she's great. You know what I mean? And she's like, okay, I've been so fixated on losing these last 8 pounds, like fixated to be at 100. She's like, what's going to happen when you lose the 8 pounds? I'm like, what do you mean? I'll be at 100. She's like, "Yeah, but, like, what genuinely" like, she's like, you could be, building muscle, this, that, and the other." You know what I mean? She's making me sit and think for a minute, like, why am I so hyper fixated on a number? Because I have an obsessive personality, and
Yeah.
I said that to you earlier. I
Yeah.
have a very obsessive personality, especially once I have something in my mind, like, I'm gonna do it.
Right. No matter like
E
what it takes to
Right.
get
I was
there.
gonna finish as aesthetic school, and I was gonna do it when I did. I was gonna get my license as fast as possible, and I was gonna open a business as quick as I could if I had the means and if I had the clientele to do so, but, like, I do it. Like,
Mhm.
if I put my mind to something, I'll do it. That comes with good and bad, you know
Yeah.
what I mean?
Yeah.
And, I started to get fixated on numbers and this, and now I'm like, "Madison, like, how about the fact that, like, you can do things now?" Like, to be honest with you, if you had asked me a year ago to be on this podcast, I would probably have said no. Not because I don't wanna be a part of it, but because I wouldn't have wanted to put myself out there.
Right.
I was so comfortable in my bubble.
Right.
And, you can ask people who have been in my life for a while, and I'm like a whole new person.
For sure.
But it's because, and I don't think it's because I've lost the weight. I've always been a positive person. It's not that I've lost the weight, it's that I've gained myself.
For sure.
Do you know what I mean?
Absolutely.
I am Madison now. I'm not living for other people. I'm not living like it is what it is.
You have your own identity. You're your own human.
Right.
Yeah. Your
And
happiness isn't in other people.
right. It's not in the back burner.
No.
It's not it's priority.
Right.
Finding things that have kind of, like you said, fill my cup has been healing.
Right.
whatever that looks like. And I think a lot of people have a hard time figuring out what fills their cup. I know I did, but sometimes it takes one thing. And it's like a trickle effect, or what's it called? Domino effect. You find something. For me, like I will say my first step to choosing me or doing something for myself was to go to aesthetic school. I tried to go a couple years ago, and I believe God has timing for everyone, and like everything happens for a reason.
Absolutely.
I'm a strong believer in that. And there's a timing for everything.
Yep.
There's a reason I didn't go to school years ago. I don't know what it is. I truly don't think it was because my parents just wanted me to go to college. They've always been super supportive. Shout out Bob and Jane. People are like obsessed with my parents. They're like the aunt and uncle
I
for
love
everybody.
that.
Like if you were to come to my house one time, my mom's like, it's Aunt Jane.
Love
Like
that.
you don't call it, it's Aunt Jane.
Yeah. She's everybody's auntie.
Literally.
Nice.
And like they're the most supportive people ever, and they just want me to be happy. And I think they wanted me to figure it out on my own.
Right.
They don't
right.
they're not like the people are like, oh, just do, like, this is what you're doing. This is how you're doing it. Like, let me hand it to you.
But that's great that they gave you that, because that's
Yeah.
important to be able to learn
Right.
certain, obviously with guidance, but
Yeah.
having the opportunity to do it your own is how you're going to be the most successful.
Yeah. And I think that like I'm lucky. I've had people to look up to. My dad's been an entrepreneur for years and successful with it. Sam, Emily, Miss Barbara, just my Uncle Dave. Like I'm surrounded by people who do things that they love.
So that's the type of people you want to continue to have around you,
Right.
because those are the type of people that
Right.
are going to hold space for you and also be your biggest supporters.
Yeah.
I think that, and I've said this before on my podcast, but like there's space for all of us.
Yes.
I've reached
Every industry.
out to people in the past, like, because I wanted to start a clothing brand, which eventually I'll do
I love that.
whenever, God brings me to it. Just
Right.
faith over fear, super positive, like stuff.
That's amazing.
Hey, I appreciate that.
My dad does that for a living, so if you need anything,
Okay,
let
we'll
me-
talk.
Yeah.
Yeah. We'll connect.
I'm like literally my dad can make it for you.
But so I've reached out to people who have clothing brands,
Yeah.
right? And I've asked them, hey, I'm thinking about starting a clothing brand.
Yeah.
What would you suggest? How do I start?
Yeah.
Oh, I'll get back to you another time. Okay.
Yeah.
Reach out to it again. Read me, don't
Not bad.
respond. I will only reach out 2 times because I value myself and I'm not going to beg for anybody's help. But so I think it can also be like competitive to a lot of people, or if
Right.
this person rises, I'm going to lose out.
Right.
There is space for all of us.
I mean, look at where, and it's like, look at us at Sam's shop at
Right.
Brows and Beauty. We don't do all of the exact same things, right? I mean, I don't do lash extensions, but Emily and Sam do. I don't do permanent makeup. Sam does. But the thing is there's literally room for everyone. We all do brows. We all do brow wax. We all do lip wax. You know what I mean? Like we all do certain things. If my client's like, I really want my brows to just stay longer. You know what I do? I send them to Sam and I go, get your brows permanently tattooed and go to Sam.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like there is room for everyone. My classmate that I went to school with is across the hall from me at she opened her own business as well.
That's awesome.
Yeah, Mick. I want her to do amazing. We do a few of the same services. I want her to do amazing. My friend KK, she's an esthetician down the street and she's a waxer. I don't do a lot of body waxing. I do some. You know what I do? If they want a Brazilian, I send them to KK.
Right. You all look out for each other.
Because there's room for everyone. Yeah, KK still does facials and stuff like that. But like, you know what? If somebody wants to go to someone else, that's okay. It's okay. You're going to find your tribe. Right. Yeah. I love to support my friends, especially people who own their own business. It's like one of my favorite things to do in the world. Like my friend Shannon just opened up her pop-up parties.
I know.
Amazing. You know what I mean? Shout out Shannon. I just did a balloon order for my 1 year. But it's like things like that, Nelly and her empanadas. It's just, I love being surrounded by like-minded people because I think it's amazing for networking, but also for influence almost.
I love that.
You know what I mean? Like I would have never thought to get balloons for my 1 year, to be honest. Like I would have just never thought of like it being as like that big of a celebration. Why? Why wouldn't you? Like Shannon influenced me. You know what I mean? And it's like, I don't think it's copying. I don't think it's anything.
Nope.
Even if it is copying is a compliment in my opinion.
I agree.
In my opinion.
I agree. You feel inspired.
Yeah.
Like think about like fashion or just anything in general. We're all artists. We are all creators in different aspects.
Right.
So that's why music, you can hear a song from Chris Brown, that's a love song, and then you listen to a song that's from a different artist, that's a love song, but it's similar differently.
You can do Maria, and then Rihanna and DJ Khaled do Wild Thoughts.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like they're influenced by the exact same beat.
Correct.
Totally different. And I just think that's what's amazing about like the beauty industry or just industries in general. You guys can still all work together.
Yeah.
People are going to come to you or people are going to surround themselves with you because of you.
Right. Correct.
You know what I mean? My clients come to I'm great at what I do, but they like me.
Right. Right.
Sam is great what she does, but they love her.
Right.
You're a great podcasting host. Is that what they're called?
Yes.
Host.
Thank you.
But we gravitate to you.
Right.
And I think that's what makes everybody special. But I also think that's not just in the working industry. I think that's just in general.
In general, of
You know what I
course.
mean? I think
Absolutely.
just like
There's so
people's
many people in the
stories.
world that everyone will eventually have
Yeah.
their tribe if they stick with there's so many
Right.
people, right?
Be
So
yourself.
just be yourself.
Yeah. And I
Yeah.
think that's a big thing. And I think if you're searching to figure out who you are, be open to things. Don't be super close minded. Like for me, I was like, I would never be on a GLP-1. I'm not even kidding you. I had that mindset.
I
And
believe
I'm
it.
someone who needed it the most.
I believe it.
Or like I was like, I don't think I'd want weight loss surgery. And it's not because I had a stigma to it. I was like, it's just not for me.
Right.
And maybe there was a subconscious stigma that I didn't even know about.
Right.
But I think being in the fitness industry, I was like, well, I can do this myself. Girl, you didn't have a hormone. No, you can't.
Right.
Now we know you
Yeah.
got
Get influenced
disease.
subconsciously. My GLP-1 medication sat in my fridge for 8 weeks. I was so afraid to inject myself because I was so afraid. I was listening to people and they were
Yeah,
like, that's going to kill you eventually. You're going to have severe side effects. And so
right.
I am on that medication. I've always been like a natural person. I take CMOS and like
Yeah.
I was so scared. But it's been like you said, life changing. My inflammation's gone. Like I get fuller quicker. I don't have the late night cravings. I don't have the food noise, which I used to have. I would be what I was gonna make for dinner.
Yeah. And I
It
just
was a real
think being
thing.
open minded, that's like
Yeah.
what I like. I can't, honestly, I can't put that. What's the word I'm looking for? I can't express that enough. Like,
Yeah.
be
Open
open
minded.
minded,
Open
like
minded and willingness.
be accepting to new things. Like again, I don't think I'd be where I am if I didn't start my journey of healing myself. And I don't think this came from being in a relationship for a long time. I don't think it came from, family. I don't think it came from, I think it was myself.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I think it
And
was
it was
take
God's
a bunch
timing,
of,
like you said,
right. Like
even with your schooling, because you said like I don't know why I didn't go. And like
yeah.
there was one time that I was going through a process in my life and
Hmm.
I was talking to my dad and I called him and I'm like, I don't know why this isn't happening. Like
Right.
I want this to happen now. And he just
Right.
listened and he's like, can I ask you something, Carissa? He's like, do you ever think that maybe there's like protection, maybe it's protection for you?
There's a reason it's not
And
happening.
if I would have gotten, my apartment or my kids back and all these things that I have in my life today, mentally at that time, I wasn't where I was today. So I think I would have ended up surrendering it again. I don't think I would have been able to maintain the responsibilities that I have in my life today.
Yeah. And that's like really powerful to be able to admit, not just to like the public, but to yourself.
Yeah.
Because
Thank you.
I'm a big believer, once I know, for at least for myself, once I say it out loud, it's real.
Yeah.
Like me asking for help with my nutrition or with the habits I started creating through a weight loss journey, not from a GLP-1, but from a weight loss journey.
Yeah.
I was like, it's not real. Like, it's not really actually happening. And then I started saying it out loud and people are looking at me. I'm like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, okay, now it's out loud. Now it's real.
Yeah.
Now I need to acknowledge it because not only do I hear it, whoever's listening is hearing it too.
Manifestation and
Yeah.
prayer when you're connecting to God.
Yeah.
Excuse me, is
Yeah.
a form of
Yeah.
manifestation because you're praying for people. You're praying for certain things, whether it may be to be like, today, just, take anything away that's not from you, right? Like
Right.
that's something I pray or like help this person or just allow me to be the best person I can be. And thank you for everything you've done, what you're doing, and what you're about to do. So that is a form of manifestation.
Yeah.
It's like when you walk in a thing, and that's why I called my podcast Faith Over Fear. And
I
like you
love
have
it.
that impending fear
Yeah.
and my friend, she's super spiritual. And I talk to her and I'll say something and she'll be like, don't manifest it. Like, I don't even say if I'm going through a financial hardship or
Yeah.
like something like in my life, I don't say I'm broke anymore. I would never put those words. Words are so powerful. What I would say is, I'm going to have that, but I don't at this moment, but
Okay.
it's
Yeah.
coming to me. You're like, no, girl, I'm broke.
It's like when you
or
speak it into it, like
you're
when you
speaking
say it
into
out loud, it's
existence.
real.
And people don't
That's what
realize
I'm saying.
that.
Like when I said like, oh, I need help with my habits, with
Yeah.
my eating,
Yeah.
with like making sure my workouts are being fulfilled by the nutrients that I'm giving my body.
Yeah.
That became real.
Yeah.
look at me now. I have a team. I didn't have a team when I first started. Now I have a team. I have people I can ask help for. I have a trainer. Shout out to Jillian again,
Yeah.
my old boss. I reached out to her and I'm like, it's like I blacked out everything that I know about being a trainer, and I'm like,
But you're remaining teachable, and that's how you grow.
right. And so I reached out and I was like, I need this, and that's my team. I have my friends who are my biggest supporters, even on their hardest days, people are still like, I'm so proud of you,
That's so good.
and my parents, like, they've changed their eating habits like nobody's business. You would never caught, we come from a very Sicilian family.
Oh, okay.
You would never caught my dad eating not real pasta. Now he eats the Barilla Protein Plus, and it's
Go
like,
dad.
yeah, go Bob.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah, yeah.
huge change, and it's like, again, we're contagious. Are
Yeah.
we putting positivity or negativity into this world? And it's like, I have that team. I have my doctor, who's like my biggest supporter. I have a nutritionist. I have a counselor. And then I have myself, and my biggest supporter, I have God. And it's like, I never felt like I had a team. I had everyone cheering, but now I'm like, I have a team.
Right.
Like,
And that's where success lies.
I
A
have a
lot of people
corner.
think it's like it's an individual journey,
Correct.
but you have to have a team for success. And
100%.
that's with entrepreneurship, that's with
Anything.
anything. It takes a village. So when people
Yeah.
are like, I'm going to do this by myself, look at every successful person. And success for me is really what you have in this moment. It starts with your soul, because if you don't have soul serenity, no woman, man is going to know true wealth.
Yeah.
Once you have that, you can establish the, I guess, materialistic things, but every successful person has a team with them.
Yeah.
And it could be a small team.
Yeah.
It could be, I know tons of people because I network,
Mhm.
but I have a very small group of people
And that's
that I
what's fun.
talk to about very intimate things in my
Yeah.
life. And they are people that are elevating me. Like, they pour into my cup, I pour into their cup.
Yeah.
And that's beautiful.
Yeah.
Instead of like the old me that would just wanted to be seen and wanted to be heard, that, hey girl, do you have a second? Oh, you'll never believe what happened to me.
Right.
And then guess what? Like, it's easier too for people to look at your shit than to look internally. So
Yeah.
if you're calling people
People
gossip,
like tangible.
of
Is what
course.
I always think. I'm like,
Yeah.
people love tangible. Who doesn't?
Right, right.
But the intangible is usually what's the strongest and what's the hardest to either overcome
For
or to
sure.
keep.
For sure. Yeah. No, you're like an amazing
Ah,
person. I am so like grateful I got to sit with you, and
thank
you did
you.
incredible. It's inspiring to me.
I appreciate that.
Yeah.
This is the first time I've ever really spoke on any of it.
Well, and thank you for like being vulnerable and like
Yeah.
trusting me in this space, because
Yeah.
that means so much and that's so huge.
I think it means a lot when someone is able to feel that way towards, like, to feel that vulnerability. It says something about the person that creates that space.
Thank you.
Um, I truly believe that, like, you can know someone for 5 minutes, you can know someone for 5 years. You can be more comfortable with that person in the 5 minutes you've known them than you have with someone that's been for 5 years.
I agree.
It's the person, you know what I
Right.
mean? Like, you create a safe space. Like, I ain't told nobody I had type 2 diabetes, and now the whole world gonna know. But, like,
Wow.
I'm okay with that because it's like, it's a part of me. It's not me.
Right.
It barely even like I said, it's permission.
Right. It's just it's a
But
part
it
of
puts
your
in
story, but it's not
right,
your
and it
identity.
puts into perspective, like, how bad it could have gotten,
Right.
And it's like,
And that's when people remain sick. And not to like
yeah,
go off of that, but like when you start, like, words are spells, okay? Words are, I know it's kind of like, but they're, like we said, they're so powerful. So when you start saying like, I'm this, I'm this, I'm this, or I'm this, like, your vibration is going to be like you're going to start believing that.
right. I truly believe that everything happens for a reason.
That-
I think, you know, what's nice is when they do happen, even good or bad, there's a reason, and there's always going to be something that comes out of it, whether it's a lesson or something good, And I just am grateful that I had the opportunity to come on here, talk about just my journey. Hopefully, even if it just, helps one person to start putting themselves, even if it's not first, at least at the front part of the line. You know what I mean? For me, I feel like I was all the way in like the back of the line for a long
Right,
time.
right.
Then I was like top 5. Then I felt like, you know what? I'm finally like, I'm here, And I think just giving people the opportunity to know that, like, when you do start to choose things for yourself and positivity for yourself, like, good things happen, and it's a life-changing experience.
No, you are an amazing person. I'm
Oh,
so grateful.
thank you.
We'll definitely like connect outside of this
Yeah.
as well. I would love to.
Yeah, let's hang
Yeah,
out.
yeah, for sure. Yeah, I'm like, "Should we just become best friends?"
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah.
I'm
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
yeah, so if you
Yeah.
said that and you said no, I was gonna correct you.
Right, right. You're like, "Actually, never
Again, I'll make
mind."
a wall talk to me,
Yeah,
so
never
I
mind,
think
never mind. But everybody, this is Madison. She
oh,
is amazing.
thanks for having
Thank
me.
you so much for being here. And your story is incredible. If anybody needs any skin
Oh, this
rejuvenation, she's located in Bedford in the Brows and Beauty facility.
yeah,
So Samantha Paulino as well. But this is
yeah.
Madison at Madison
It's
Aesthetics.
honestly though, like, it's such a hard last name. I was like,
Mine's the Shays. So like people are
yeah,
like,
yours is a little difficult
they're like,
too.
"How do you even say that?" But yeah,
It's
no, it's great. It's so good. So,
thank you.
thank you again for being here. And if anybody ever wants to be a guest speaker on Faith Over Fear, reach out to me directly.
Do it.
You can also reach me at faithoverfear603booking@gmail.com. And Faith Over Fear is available on YouTube, iHeartRadio, Spotify, Amazon Music, and Spreaker, and Audible.
Girl, you're everywhere.
Everywhere.
Oh,
Yeah.
it's so legit. I
Yes,
love
yes,
it.
yes, yeah, it's a blessing. So
Goodness.
yeah, yeah, it's definitely been like an amazing journey, but I appreciate everyone who supported me and everyone who spoke and
Yeah.
has listened and shared. So God bless your week and we'll see you next time.
Bye.